Hello, so today's podcast I'm going to be talking about Star Wars TV shows. So there's been a couple that have been really standing out, like, recently The Mandalorian and Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels. But then there's a couple of them that many people don't really know. And I'm going to be talking about that today. So let's jump into it. So the reason why many of these Star Wars TV shows are really great is because they are made by, or they're helped as really kind of like directed slash written, whatever like you want to say, by a guy named Dave Filoni, and he worked on The Mandalorian. He worked on Star Wars Road. I mean, he worked on a bunch of them, and so so with this, I mean, I have right in front of me right now a list of all kind of the Star Wars TV shows. So there's The Mandalorian, Star Wars Rebels, and Star Wars The Clone Wars, and then there's a couple of Lego ones like Lego Star Wars Droid Tales, which is basically kind of like a retelling of all kinds of movies, but like in short amount of time, and it's just like Lego, and it's just basically kind of like as like a joke thing. And then there's Star Wars Forces of Destiny, so it's basically just like, oh hey yeah, so Star Wars, we're not sexist because look, we have like girls like in like our thing, and we and it's okay. I mean, I haven't really watched it. And then there's Lego Star Wars: The Yoda Chronicles, which these were back in 2013, so that's 14, and these weren't made by Dave Filoni, but I mean, they were basically kind of just like, I mean, they weren't really. This is like not really like canon stuff, but it's supposed to be kind of like joking. It's supposed to be just like this, like, oh yeah, hey, look, it's Lego Star Wars. Oh yeah, hey, look, it's like some jokes, and it's, I mean, and it's basically just kind of say like it's basically kind of just made like, I guess, like, because like I watched a couple months ago the Toys That Made Us, like the Lego and Star Wars one, and Lego, like, almost kept going out of business because then it's like for like Star Wars, like it's one of the best selling ones. Is because like since Star Wars is so popular, then everyone wants to like build to like, I don't know, an X-wing or all like that. So I'm thinking that's maybe why they made kind of the Yoda Chronicles, is because of something like, yeah, hey, remember Lego Star Wars? Why don't you just go and buy some sets? And he made, I think, two sets. I think Jag 14's ship, and then then the second Jag 14, like Sapphire, which I got both of the sets, and they're basically kind of broken now. Like, yeah, but like they have some jokes with it, like when they go back to Tatooine, like they're in like the cantina, and then like above like the booth that they're in, it says like this, oh yeah, dedicated to Greedo, which is kind of like a joke. And then Star Wars: The Freemaker's Adventures, which is supposed to be kind of like, I mean, I think they had like a couple of sets. Yeah, yeah, they do. I just checked. And okay, so I watched most of these series. The only series I didn't really watch was Star Wars vs. the Destiny, because I think it was more like a thing, more like a towards girl stuff, which I guess, like, even though Star Wars is for both genders and all genders. And then there's, well, it's not really a TV show because it's more like specials. It's Robot Chicken Star Wars, which is basically just like, they're parroting kind of like Star Wars, or all doing kind of jokes of it. And this is segueing into like, like my next thing. So 2012 or something like that, there's going to be a show called Star Wars Detours, which I think it's supposed to be kind of like, because the Star Wars Robot Chickens, it wasn't like, it's like a whole special where it's like, oh yeah, back to back stuff, because a lot of times Robot Chickens, like, just say like little like shorts or skits and all kind of that, like, so like, like one of those. And so Star Wars Detours was supposed to be kind of like, I'm guessing it's supposed to be kind of like Robot Chicken, but say for like kids. And I watched kind of trailers. I watched a couple like the shorts of it. And sorry, I just woke up like almost like an hour ago, and I am just so tired. And and so for these, they're like I watched kind of trailer. I watched kind of the little like shorts, and I saw that the Emperor was voiced by I think like the same guy who voiced the Emperor in Star Wars, the Robot Chicken series. And I guess that's kind of good because like and because like it's like something that's like yeah, but yeah, but so now let me get into how good each of like these series are. The Mandalorian, it's really good because like I mean like because for the sequels, I mean Episode 7 was like really good. Like I'm guessing it's because like since they had Harrison Ford back, like it sounded like a new story. But then Episode 8, like it takes place at like I think a day after Episode 7, and everyone is basically just different. Like basically like if a couple years went by and like say like that one day like that, and and but then Episode 8 and 9, like they're all trying to push stuff together. Like they're all trying to say like like they're all trying to say like this. Oh yeah, so we're trying to make like this movie work. Right. But then for the Mandalorian, since it's like a series, each like episode is like you know an hour. It takes kind of the liberties of saying like, oh yeah, hey, we're storytelling here. We're like we're like so people can like can actually follow like along and all that. And then also it's just like it's why the Mandalorian actually really worked is because in the sequels, I don't know if they're like if they're like another part of the galaxy where all kind of like these different aliens are, but like what really make how like a bunch of, like these like series good is because like recurring like aliens, recurring like creatures, like like yeah and with the Mandalorian like like we see um I forget what these creatures are, but they're first introduced in the Star Wars Ewok movies. Yes, those are a thing. And in Star Wars Rebels, I mean not Clone Wars. I'm getting my shows mixed up. And there's an Ugnaught. There's off-world Jawas, but there's still Jawas. You know. Um, there's like like I'm just gonna call like devil creatures because that's what the BC are from from like the cantina and like so like they go I mean like even though they go to like different worlds they go to like they go back to Tatooine where there's pit droids. There's like the lead torture droid in Java's Palace. I think it's like I forget what like she is called, but um and and there's like like and it's kind of like continuing like a story that like we all kind of like know, and it's yeah. And so oh yeah, there's the the spy like elephant guy from episode 4. Like there's a bunch of recurring characters. And also why the Mandalorian worked is because we all know Baby Yoda, because like I mean seriously, like Disney, like I think they lost over like $1 billion, which that isn't like bad for them, because Disney bought Star Wars for $4 billion. That's kind. I mean, like if I was George Lucas, I'll feel ripped off. I mean, even say like in 2012/13 money, I'll still feel ripped off. Like I mean, like if I have something that made so many toys, like so like Star Wars the Clone, like I think like the reason why Disney bought Star Wars is because since during Star Wars the Clone Wars. that was like it's hype, that's when everyone was like, oh my god, yeah, I really want to buy like clone trooper like helmet. Oh yeah, I really want to buy like these action figures. And but then 4 billion. I mean, if I own Star Wars, I'll go up to about 10 billion, or maybe highest I'll probably go is 20. Lowest I'll probably go is 10 or $11 billion. Because Disney is rich AF. Like they have so many. I mean, like even if there wasn't the cough. I mean, they have like their parks. They own Marvel, Fox now, um, X-Men. You, you know, there's like the whole like there's a whole fight about so oh yeah, Sony wanted like Spider-Man back, and then Disney was like this. Whoa, wait, wait, wait. You can't have like that one thing because even though we own basically like almost everything, like seriously, like in about like 10 years, it's gonna be like a fight between it's gonna be just like Disney like buying everything, like it's gonna be like Disney PBS, like oh yeah, and Disney also owns ABC, like they own like just a bunch of stuff, and it's I mean it's good that it's like it's like Disney magic, but at the same time it's like I mean Disney like gave $5 billion to help fight racial injustice and Black Lives Movement, which I know I'm going on a little side note here, but Disney has a lot, a lot of history of racism with, Song of the South, um, I won't really say the, say like, the World War II kind of, cartoons were, I mean, they're kind of racist, say like, they show them now, but then back then, it was kind of riled up like the troops and like this. Oh yeah, hey, we see say like oh yeah, Japanese. That's say like dim-witted people. That means oh yeah, that means we're stronger. That means we could beat them. But then now it's like yeah, the Japanese are our friends, and if we share this, then it's just gonna ruin like a relationship. But so let me get back to Star Wars. Um, Star Wars Rebels. Why it worked? It's because um I guess it's because it's showing kind of like okay, hey, here's after the Clone Wars, but here's before like A New Hope. Like say like oh yeah, here's how the rebellion really like started, and it showed them like I don't know, guess like find like the Empire. There's um and then starts the Clone Wars, which I think I mean like it's one of the best series because here's why. I mean the early seasons are like one of like the best ones. I mean because that's one of the battle droids were like really funny. They're like that was when like it was when like it was like I mean like it was when it was actually kind of war stuff like when it's called Star Wars you don't just think about like oh yeah hey here's kind of just like our main here like it like especially kind of like say like in like the sequels where like when we're all talking about this oh yeah we're on this together so I don't show like the other resistance troopers like fighting instead of having them just in the background just to have like the main heroes like fight um and then but then um but so now let me get on to so since I finally I got Disney Plus and since it's all like this quarantine I finally got around to watching Star Wars Resistance and what's really cool about Star Wars Resistance is that you're thinking like, oh, is it gonna be so like Star Wars Rebels, where they're just fighting like the First Order, or it's gonna be like like the first part, like like when the First Order was first taking charge, something like that. No, it's basically just like this Resistance fighting like this in like this like station that they always just ship race. And I mean the art style, I mean like it's good, but then it kind of seems like lazy, kind of seems like something just like so you kind of like they just pace kind of like they it's just like say like no, so you kind of like stop motion, we're just saying kind of like have like just like one background, but then it's just like animated characters. And what's kind of good about this one is that they don't, I mean, in like the first like season, they don't go everywhere. It's all like stuff kind of like that. And for some reason, like in like this series, the storm, like the first order stormtrooper helmets just look, they just look so smushed. Like they just look like really like clumped up together. Like if you watch the series, you'll like get it. And what's so weird is that so this series it's okay, but it really isn't like good. It isn't like it's sometimes funny, but then a lot of times it's just like boring. It's just kind of like yeah, I mean, I mean, even with like the first order parts, which I think the first order in the sequels are kind of the best. I mean, are kind of the best part because episode 7, like like you saw like the might of like you just saw like all these like giant battles. Like you kind of saw like when like the Star Killer base fired up. Like you just see, and then in episode 8, it kind of just like dumbed down, and in episode like I mean episode 9, it can't like they just keep dumbing down. But then I mean Kylo Ren in episode 7 and episode 9 were actually like really good. Kylo Ren in episode 8 was just basically like an emo who's like this. Oh, this girl I like doesn't like me back. Oh, I'm just gonna sulk. Hmm. And then for this, it's just. I mean, I'm getting tired just talking about like this series. But then, and then kind of where I said, and here's like the main point: they they couldn't really make the first order work. Like Dave Filoni worked on this. Like he made the he made Mandalorian. He made Star Wars Rebels. He made Star Wars: The Clone Wars. But they couldn't really make Star Wars Resistance work. And and because I mean with Star Wars Rebels, I mean even though like they're not in like the whole rebel base like at first or anything like that. I mean they're still shooting down TIE fighters. They're still like blowing up like Imperial stuff. They're like rebelling. But then with like the Star Wars Resistance, it's mostly just kind of this like, oh yeah, hey, um, just I mean like just maybe kind of like have them like go on this like ship thing that's in like the water. Okay, yeah, like that's just like an easy thing to just like you know. And even with like the best part of like this series is actually kind of these pirates because the design of them is very cool. Like their ships are just made of like old Imperial stuff. That's like the only like really good thing about kind of this series is because like it kind of took like liberties, like this. Oh yeah, hey, they're not all uniform. They're not all like this. Like let's just you know do this. Oh yeah, and spoilers. So just skip ahead a couple of like seconds or like that. Where so just like this like Major Vernar or something like that. Like he's in this red tie interceptor. And, like I'm guessing he's supposed to be because like like yeah he's supposed to be like this big pilot and all like that. and he dies. No, really, he's basically kind of like Captain Phasma, looking cool, but then they die in like a wussy kind of like way, and 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 also with for this, if you want to watch Star Wars Rebels, Star Wars Resistance, you can watch it. I'm not telling that you shouldn't or you can't. It's just not like a good series. It's okay, but not. Oh my God, this is like it was only for like 2 years. It didn't like get that much hype, and and now I'm gonna talk about why Rebels and Clone Wars did better than the series. Okay, Clone Wars in episode 4, like Obi-Wan said like this. Oh yeah, back during like the Clone Wars, we didn't know what the Clone Wars were, or not we, because mainly like people are watching this are like my age, so, like they're like 16, 17, all that. But people back in like when episode 4 came out, they're all confused. Like, wait, what was the Clone Wars? And then now we kind of got it. And then there's kind of like battles. There's Yoda, actually become like a Jedi, and then well, it was like the Clone Wars series, because in episode 2 we did get the start of Clone Wars, but then it's kind of like a like and um Rebels. We all grown up with the Empire. Well, the Empire being kind of the bad guys, all that, and then with and then you know like it had good art style. It it kind of went with the stuff there's great battles, and so now I just really want to talk about the forgotten Star Wars TV show, Star Wars Clone Wars, which that's what it's called. Not Star Wars The Clone Wars, but this is from 2003. So this probably was going to be kind of the Star Wars The Clone Wars kind of TV series, but I don't know why they kind of made like a second one. But I think this is taking place um a couple after episode 2, because Anakin is still in his episode 2 phase, so is Obi-Wan, so is 3D everyone else. But in this series, he still is whiny. What I don't really get is why in the movies Anakin is kind of whiny, but then in Star Wars The Clone Wars, he's not. He's a little bit whiny, but then it's just think about kind of this, in say episode 4 or something like that, it's kind of Darth Vader's like this, why aren't you gonna tell me this, the Death Star plans? You're not interested in my plan. Just what? But for this series, there's not that much talking, and that's great because because with this in even in Star Wars the Clone Wars, this say talking or sound or human sounds during the battle, something like that. But then with this, this is a lot of times just the clones, and I'm guessing this is why it's called. But but I still just don't know why they make. It's good that they make a second series of Star Wars the Clone Wars, but I don't get why. I do kind of get why, it's because of the money, but at the same time it's maybe it wasn't that. Maybe people want wanted more. Maybe they just thought of it, saying like this. Oh yeah, hey, what if I mean, we already did Star Wars Clone Wars like in in you know 2003, but let's do what basically instead like because basically almost every like say like horror movies or movies now they like say like Candyman like there's like a new one coming out like soon or something like that, but then like usually like say something like that like the movie business will be like this. What if we make like a new one? Well, how would we do that? We just put the Candyman. Genius. And so, I mean, I watched like probably like the first episode before like I started doing like this podcast episode of Clone Wars, like one of the first episodes. But I mean, like it's just really good. I mean, and this is one like where like this one. I mean, there's just great. I mean, for this, it looks really just hand drawn or something like that. Like I mean, like it matches kind of the background. Like I mean, I mean, even though the first couple of seconds of like the first episode, like I think it's like Yoda like riding kind of this like other horse like thing, and so so think of someone like just walking casually, but then say kind of like but then say kind of like something like so you give it like a 2 second loop of someone walking casually, and you just kind of paste that like a kind of like a little bit over and over again over like thing like that was basically like the first couple of seconds of like just like you're writing like the source thing, which you don't really like you don't really like what's it called you don't really judge like a series by like the first couple of seconds, but then I mean Yoda just sounds like strange. He just sounds like like it like he doesn't sound like his voice like this, something like that. Like it sounds more like if like a dad, which also had before I say, like kind of got like a sore throat. He's like this. Oh, the Clone Wars have really started now. Like something like that. And like I said, there's like a little to no talking, but it makes up for it by the battle. It's just like really great. And but then this is also kind of the thing that's like when like show characters like because in cartoons you could like you could make someone's like face look weird, but then at the same time like look natural or something like that. But then you can't really do that in like real life, or else like it looks really weird. Like Chancellor Palpatine, his forehead is like almost kind of like a ridge like thing. Oh yeah, and this is on kind of like 2D kind of like animation, so maybe that's why it kind of looks really kind of good. And so like yeah, which as for Star Wars Resistance, I think it's I think it's kind of computer generated and all like that. But I think it's trying to maybe look 3D, but it just really looks 2D. And but yeah, but for and so now as we're kind of closing down, um, or as we're whatever. So I mean, a lot of these have kind of good stories, like The Mandalorian, Star Wars Rebels, and all kind of that. But then no one really thinks of like the Lego series, cause like kids sort of thinking like that. Oh yeah, it's like just for babies, all kind of that. But then it's not for babies. It's for older kids who want to buy like the Lego set, stuff like that. But we call these like Lego series. They're saying kind of they're kind of showing them I'm like they're not always like made out of brick. Like the Lego movie, I actually thought that was stop motion, but it wasn't. It really looked like it was stop motion. And the reason why is because they're made to be like action Legos because it's like a kids imagination. But then for like these Lego series, they're like basically like Lego figures, but their arms like really just move to like an old Star Wars action figures, not the new ones where like the arms are just basically like almost like C-3POs. Seriously, like Disney has, I bet, really just over $100 billion. But then it's like, which one can make like these regular like action figures out of? Let's just take away the joy and imagination. They're just making them kind of, like not bendable, like at all. Really great idea. That'll save us, even more money, so then we could take more over the world. And but if I had to say, I mean, because we all like, I mean, every one of the greatest like Lego games and very like one of the greatest video games is Lego Star Wars: A Complete Saga. And I know I'm going into video games, but then this kind of connects to say like like the Lego thing. They're kind of like it's just one of the great games, the and the reason why they don't talk in video games is because everyone really like knows like Star Wars like we don't really need to hear like the same dialogue. Like the reason why in say other like Lego games and like that why they talk is because we don't know like the dialogue is like it's kind of like we don't there isn't say like a Lego City Undercover like movie trilogy or anything like that. So with it, um, and there's like the new like Lego Star Wars like video game coming out soon, which it doesn't have like the same great feel of console like of Lego Star Wars like like the complete saga like when Lego Star Wars Complete Saga everything is like it's kind of the same like texture like main kind that's like oh yeah like say like if like the minifigure or if like the characters are like one kind of text or like or shade or something like that, then the background like and everything else with the new Lego Star Wars kind of games, it's not really that like it's more like oh yeah shiny. It's more kind of like but mm, but if you really want to watch say like something funny that's like Star Wars, just watch the Robot Chicken Star Wars stuff. If you want to watch, I don't know, something that's like legally, watch like the Yoda Chronicles or like the Freemaker Adventure, something like that. You just want to watch something that's like that you really like, of like the Empire. You just watch Star Wars Rebels. If you really like, want to watch during like the Clone Wars, just watch the Clone Wars series. They're really all good because they're made by like great writers, but they're not all perfect. I mean, but thank you so much for listening. This took a while to make because my editing software kind of crashed. So, thank you so much.